Welcome back. Well, the Republican candidates for president debated for the first time last night on Fox News Channel.
The debate was entertaining at times and also contentious. Governor Scott Walker seemed to play it safe. Here to break it all down is Marquette Law School professor Charles Franklin. And Charles, thank you very much for joining us. You know, the game plan for Governor Walker was not to take the bait and sort of ignore his opponents. Did he play it safe?
I think by that standard he absolutely did. If the first message of debate is do no harm, then he didn't do any harm. On the other hand, he didn't expand his opportunities as much. Some of the others, like former Governor Jeb Bush, used his time to talk about his accomplishments as governor and took a little more time, whereas Governor Walker ended up being the second fewest minutes of speaking time.
Now, do you think Scott Walker did what he needed to do, Professor, to remain a front runner, or would you have liked for him to have been a little stronger?
Well, I think that's a little bit in the eye of the beholder. You know, these are not college debates where a neutral panel scores the debating points people make. It's the political outcome of this. Governor Walker, I think, didn't hurt himself last night, but he didn't stand out from the crowd, or at least that's what a lot of social media and commentary after the debate, and I'm talking about from conservative and Republican sources, say he did fine, but he didn't stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, there was some interesting buzz afterwards. Let's talk about some of the specific moments. One of the best zingers of the night came from Walker when he said this about Hillary Clinton.
For the cyber attack with Russia the other day, it's sad to think right now, but probably the Russian and Chinese government know more about Hillary Clinton's email server than do the members of the United States Congress.
So, Professor Franklin, in that moment there, he was clearly focused on Hillary Clinton and not so much the other folks on the stage.
It was a perfect soundbite because it was both humorous and it made a point about Clinton, something that the audience there in the theater picked up and that a lot of news coverage has covered. Also, Walker brought up Clinton at several different opportunities. It was clear that she was his target rather than the other Republican candidates.
Yeah, that was quite obvious. Now, co-moderator Megyn Kelly went after Donald Trump very early on when she talked about his comments on women, and she did make the point that Hillary Clinton would attack him. Let's listen in to this one.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
Now, this is, a lot of people are talking about this one, and this is actually kind of difficult to digest for a lot of folks. So what do you think about that, Professor?
Yeah, I think you saw there, and you actually in the very first question about whether you'd pledge not to run as a third party, you saw Donald Trump being Donald Trump. The things he said throughout the evening are likely to appeal to the people that already support Trump. And in that particular question about his comments on women, the audience responded to that question and laughed pretty loudly in his response about only Rosie O'Donnell. That surely does not resonate well with Democrats or with folks that are not already on the Trump bandwagon. But we'll have to wait a week or two to see if the polling reflects any response to this, rather than only rely on the immediate reactions of the people in the crowd who are not representative of the public at large.
Professor Franklin, we appreciate your insight. The poll numbers will certainly be insightful here to see if anyone did change some minds out there right now. So we appreciate what you were able to provide us. Thank you very much for joining us from Madison.